What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to talk about some of my favorite weapons from the Last Wish raid. Even though the Black Armory DLC is coming out tomorrow, the Last Wish raid will still be one of the better places to go to get top tier PvE and PvP weapons. So without further ado, let's jump right into some of my favorite weapons. First and foremost, the weapon I like the most from this raid so far is a pulse rifle, and it's called the Chattering Bone. Now, I do have a couple rolls on this. The Outlaw Under Pressure is okay. The curated version is pretty good as well. It has kill clip, high impact reserves. I wish I had a combination of these two, to be honest, so you don't necessarily need to get the curated version to have a great version of this weapon. But this is a pulse rifle that's going to be equally effective in PvP and PvE, especially in PvP, because this pulse rifle has 450 rounds per minute, and that slots it in right in between the 390 and the 540 pulse rifle. So if weapons like an auger or a dress or the Marine at 390 are not quite treating you well, and perhaps the 540 pulse rifles like the Bygones or Horror's Least are a bit too fast, this weapon is right in the middle and it should treat you pretty well in Crucible. It's also really good too in PvP, or I'm sorry, in PvE. I've been liking this quite a bit, using this a lot in different content. So this right here I think is a very good multi-purpose weapon and one that you should definitely be trying to get from the Last Wish raid. Another really good weapon that is more so for PvE is the Scout Rifle. Now I've only gotten one of these, and I was fortunate enough to get the curated version because this weapon is really good to use in PvE. The curated version has Outlaw and Explosive Payload, so that right there is a really awesome combination for a Scout Rifle. Couple that with the fact that it is fully masterwork and it does have a reload speed. That will help you generate more orbs, and it is nice to have that extra reload speed if you're not activating Outlaw. But this is a great Scout Rifle. It's one that I've been using quite a bit as soon as I got it, and one that I would definitely recommend trying to get. You don't necessarily need the curated version, but having that combination of perks is hard to turn down. So the primary weapons I like the most are Chattering Bone and Transfiguration. Another really good weapon here to use is the auto rifle, and I'm talking about the age-old Bond. Now, this auto rifle is pretty neat because it does have, or can have, the Dragonfly perk, and what I really like about that is it does remind me quite a bit of the Wrath of the Machine auto rifle from Destiny 1. So if you recall from that raid, you could get the Genesis chain auto rifle that did have Firefly on it. So this weapon here, it does fit that archetype quite well, and the fact that it is void will come in really handy in certain situations, especially the Shattered Throne Ogre battle. So if you're having trouble taking down the Hive Wizards there, this auto rifle will treat you very well in that dungeon. So this is one that I've been enjoying. I think it fits a nice niche here in Destiny 2, and it's a pretty unique weapon as well. Now, I haven't gotten the curated version, but I'm pretty happy with the one I got right here. Another weapon that I really like is also an energy weapon, and it does have some Destiny 1 ties to it as well, and that is the hand cannon. Now, the roll I got here is pretty good, but I do wish the one I had Dragonfly, just to make it more like Fatebringer from Destiny 1. This is also an arc hand cannon, so you have that tied to it. And if you get Dragonfly, then that does make this sort of like your Year 2 Destiny 2 Fatebringer. But the roll I got is pretty good. It has Zen Moment and Kill Clip, so that's pretty solid. But this is one here where if you're a hand cannon player and you want a nice energy hand cannon, this weapon will treat you pretty awesome. So there's other good weapons here you can get too. I know there's 1,000 Voices, very tough to get, very low drop rate, and it's also hard to beat the raid. So I'm not going to delve too much into that. You can also get a pretty decent rocket launcher. Now, to be honest though, the rocket launcher you get from this, it's called Apex Predator, and there are some better versions in my opinion. But if you're looking for a decent rocket launcher, this one with the right perks can be pretty effective as well. The sniper rifle, it is called the Supremacy, and I do have that somewhere here in my inventory. But it's a sniper rifle that is pretty solid. To be honest though, I think you really want to be looking for, in my opinion, an energy weapon. I don't really like sacrificing some of these better weapons here for the primary, but then again, perhaps there's somebody else who can weigh in here. I do have Snapshot and Triple Tap on this sniper rifle, which is pretty sweet, but again, it's one I haven't really used that much, so I'll need somebody else to weigh in on just how effective this is. I haven't yet gotten the bow or the fusion rifle. So from what I've heard, the fusion rifle can be really, really good. So I'm curious what other people think about those two weapons. Let me know in the comments. But these are weapons that I think you should really be trying to get, especially the Chattering Bone and the Scout Rifle. I think those are really awesome weapons. And if you're lucky enough to get the Thousand Voices, well, by all means, you'll probably be using that right away as soon as you get it. So these are weapons that I recommend. If you haven't done the raid, or maybe you haven't found a good team, maybe you just haven't had time, there is still ways that you can get these weapons, at least some of these. You can't get Thousand Voices except for the very, very end of the raid for completing it. But everything else, you can get these from a raid chest that I'll show you how to get right now. What you want to do is head over to the wishing well, and you want to use wish number 4. So I'll pause here for a second so you can get the screen, but also post a link to this in the comments as well, and in the description. So once you enter these symbols, you want to hop on the plate, and this will transport you to a certain encounter. This is the Shero Chi encounter, and you can get a chest there that's pretty easy to get, and you have a decent chance of getting the weapons that I just showed you in this video. You also have a chance though to get the armor, which I'm wearing most of the armor right now, and it does look pretty cool, but you want to try to get the weapons from this encounter. So once you head here, you want to make your way over to the bridge. So we're just going to jump over there and make our, as fast as we can, over to this part of the raid encounter. So we're just jumping up this cliff right here, and now we're going to jump over to the bridge. There's also another chest you can get via a different wish, but this is the one that I'm most familiar with. There's a wish you can use before the Morgoth encounter, before the Ogre encounter, to get a second chest. So my recommendation is, if you have some buddies, maybe have one person come into here, and then you can use another character to get to a different chest. But this one here is pretty reliable. So as you're making your way across here, obviously it's nice to have a bit more control. Some of these jumps are pretty calculated. I'm using Lion Rampants right now on my Titan, and if you have the jump boots for your Hunter, those will come in handy. But you want to make your way across this bridge and go around this platform. Once you get to this side, you're basically aiming for directly below where I'm at. So you want to jump out and then slowly drift your way down here. And here's a chest. So this chest right here does have a chance of giving you all the weapons that I showed outside of 1,000 Voices. Ideally, I'd get something good that I don't have, but I believe I've already actually... No, I haven't. So I didn't get this chest yet, and I got a helmet. So, like I said, you can get armor from this too, and the armor does look pretty neat, but the main draw, I think, from that chest is getting the weapons. So, didn't get one that time around. You can do that every single week. If you have multiple characters, you can do that multiple times per week, and you'll ideally get some of these cool weapons that I showed here. So let me know if this is helpful. I wanted to show these just to show some of the good weapons from the raid, but also too for people who are solo players. Maybe they didn't know about that chest, and each week they can go on here and try to get some of these good weapons. So let me know if that was helpful. Most importantly though, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up soon.